This guy, right? Let's talk about him. We got to talk about Mr. Mike Jeffries because we got an update on him. Oh yeah, we got an update on him. That's the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. That's right, you guys. So if y'all don't remember this guy, right? There's an update on his case. Right? There's an update on his case. Now, if you guys don't remember who this guy is, let me refresh your memory. There was a federal 16-count indictment that was unsealed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York, which outlined a highly coordinated multi-million-dollar international sex trafficking ring and prostitution business operated between December of 2008 and March of 2015. Now, the detailed allegations against this man, right, who was a former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Mike Jeffries, and his boy toy romantic partner, Matthew Smith, and their middleman, James Jacobson, are structured around specific roles and alleged manipulative tactics that they were using on young fellas. So, Mr. Jacobson, right, James Jacobson, the alleged middleman, he was the alleged recruiter. He allegedly scouted and targeted financially vulnerable 19-year-old brothers, men, who aspired to have modeling careers in the fashion industry. So he used the allure of Abercrombie and Fitch modeling opportunities to trick them into auditions under the guise of a career interview. And Mr. Jacobson required these men to perform and undergo sexual activities with him first as a tryout before they could be approved to meet the man on the right-hand side of your screen, Mr. Jeffries and Mr. Smith, right? So the tactics that these guys was using, Mr. Jeffries and Mr. Matthew Smith, which they called the sex events, was career coercion. Now, once approved, the men were flown to Mr. Jeffries' residences in New York and luxury hotels worldwide, including England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, and they were led to believe that cooperating would secure them modeling gigs, while resisting would destroy their career prospects. The indictment states that the victims were heavily pressured to consume alcohol, Viagra, and poppers. On multiple occasions, when victims were physically unable or unwilling to consent, Mike Jeffries and Mr. Smith allegedly personally injected them or directed the staff to inject their beefcakes with substances that made them rock hard, causing painful, long-hour physical reactions. Mr. Jeffries and Mr. Smith, the two boy toys, allegedly hired a secret security staff that was tasked with monitoring the perimeter of these events. Staff members forcibly prevented the men from leaving until Mr. Jeffries and Mr. Smith allegedly officially concluded these sexual sessions. Upon entering the properties, the victims were forced to hand over all personal items, including cell phones, to prevent any photo or video documentation. The trio of men forced the young men to sign strict non-disclosure agreements before the sexual events began, leveraging the threat of legal career ruin to silence them. Mr. Jeffries on your screen allegedly spent millions of dollars of his own wealth and corporate infrastructure to fund the security, international travel, and hotel accommodations necessary to keep the operation completely hidden. Separate from that criminal trial, civil lawsuits were brought forth by 40 different victims, claiming that Mr. Jeffries began this pattern of abuse as early as the 1990s. These lawsuits allege that Abercrombie and Fitch, as a corporation, acted with gross negligence, effectively funding and facilitating Mr. Jeffries' casting couch operation by turning a blind eye to his use of corporate resources for predatory behavior, right? So, Mr. Jeffries here, who's now a little bit older in age, he asked the judge to not allow him to even have a trial. He tried to claim that he was mentally incompetent to be held at trial, even though he had enough mental competency to get a bail and to leave out on bond. Right? This is the day he left out on bond right here. Right? He had enough competence to sign those paperwork to get out on bond, but he says he told the judge that, hey, man, I ain't competent enough to go to trial. Right? So the judge is currently weighing his final decision on that. But the other two guys that I told y'all about, his boy toy and the alleged middleman, the other guy, the jury selection is coming up, y'all. The jury selection, and I will be covering this trial. The jury selection is currently scheduled for October the 26th of this year. The trial is expected to move forward with the other two co-defendants, and they're waiting on a decision on this guy right here, right? As his romantic partner, Matthew Smith, and alleged middleman, James Jacobson, right? Even if Jeffries himself is eventually ruled incompetent to stand trial, the other two men are going to face trial. They've all pled not guilty. Now, Jeffries was initially ruled unfit. Initially, he was ruled unfit for trial in May 2025 due to a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body dementia, and a traumatic brain injury. However, after a court-ordered 4-month stay at a federal medical prison facility, the Bureau of Prisons doctors declared him competent. So the doctors at the prison said, no, this dude's competent. He can go to trial. He's competent. She ain't nothing wrong with him. He can take his ass to trial right now. What the hell wrong with this guy? But you have the incriminating, prison tapes, which during a heavily contested 4-day competency hearing, prosecutors introduced over 100 recorded prison calls with these guys. In the audio, Mr. Jeffries was heard warning his partner that they were screwed and in big trouble if he was found mentally fit to see trial. Prosecutors have used these tapes to argue that he is exaggerating his cognitive decline to evade justice. A final ruling from the United States District Judge on whether Jeffries will face the October trial is expected to be coming very soon, which I hope he is ruled that he has to face this trial, because he should face a trial. Why not? You know what I'm saying? If you catch him on jail phones like that and the people said he's competent, he's asking to go to trial. Point blank period. We ain't no way around this. A court ruled that Abercrombie and Fitch must fund Mr. Jeffries' multi-million-dollar criminal defense due to a prior corporate indemnification agreement. Concurrently, the brand is fighting civil lawsuits from victims claiming that the company negligently funded and facilitated the alleged trafficking operation. Right? So this situation with this guy, I think they're going to put him in the twist with his other boys. And I think they're going to make his ass go to trial. They got him on tapes. If they say he's mentally incompetent after those tapes was released, where he was saying this stuff on prison phones, on tapes, 100 calls they said, and after he was ruled to be competent, then y'all know the fix is in. Because his two boys got to face trial. So why he shouldn't face trial? He was the main guy, they saying. So why he shouldn't face trial? Oh, no, he got to take his ass up to the trial, and we will be covering this case. Jury duties on October the 26th. So y'all need to be checked in, because we are going to be covering this case on this channel. Because the allegations from the dudes was sickening. The dudes was alleging that these dudes was making them give BJs and all kind of stuff, man. They're just nasty work, man. Said that they was giving these dudes full force, full body enemas, getting their guts open, pause, so that they were cleaned out for whenever they was going to do they do. Allegedly lubing up and all this other stuff. Come on, man. Bro, like I said before, they need to see, and they need to go before a federal court system, man. No question about it. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So we will be covering this case. Hopefully y'all are going to watch us when we cover this case. Because this is a big case right here. You had all these dudes that said, and the stuff that's going to come out during this case, nasty work. Nasty work. Very nasty. Very nasty. Right? And, you know, those young men deserve justice. Point blank period. They deserve justice. Because you shouldn't be subject to this type of alleged sinister activity, man. Right? They talking about they was in, I don't even want to say it, bro. That's just nasty. Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.